Hey guys, welcome to the Super Soda Bros podcast. I'm Caleb, and over there is
Luke. That's my name. Don't use it too much.
or do, because that is his name, and that's how you identify him. You're like, hey
Yes.
Luke. You call out in the crowd, hey Luke, and he goes,
Hello.
it me.
Hi. You regret saying my name, friend?
Yes, run away fast.
Bye.
So this was kind of a last minute show we got going on because we're counting down to a certain weekend. I think this will come out like a day or two beforehand. So we won't say what it is, but it involves me and Maya traveling, and that's all we will say.
You're going to Zimbabwe.
I always wanted to be there, you know?
I just love Zimbabwe. Ever since you heard the country name of Zimbabwe, you're like, we gotta go to Zimbabwe.
I heard of New Mombasa from Halo 2, and ever since then I'm like, ooh, Africa.
Ooh, New Mombamba.
There's a song called Mobamba, which my friend Mike T keeps going on about. It's a stupid party song. I'll have to show it to you sometime. But he's like, Mobamba #1, it's the best song there is. I'm like, nah. Speaking of that, so did you see that little short video clip I sent you of in the Modern Family TV show? There was that clip of them talking about if the Titanic actually was sunk by an iceberg.
Oh yeah,
I just talked about it on the pod, and like a week or two prior was when it actually happened in real life. So I'm like, what are the chances?
What are the odds of that happening?
Crazy town. So, Luke, unfortunately, has a Miller Lite, and I have an IC Light. It's not better by much.
Still, though, for a light beer, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean...
Sure, you can watch your carbs or whatever, but, like all the other light beers that you can get out there just don't taste good. It's like a diet soda. You don't really want it. Like, if you're forced to drink it, you'll drink it if you need it. But like with this, it does not taste as good as Miller High Life, which is a really good beer. Really, probably my second favorite, if not my favorite, cheap beer, just because of the flavor of it, because it's a Pilsner. But as far as lighter beers go, this is good because it has 50 less calories, and I think, like, what is it? Let me see the ingredients say. It has a quarter of the carbs.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's if you're trying to, I'm not going to show it on camera because my belly, because we'll get not copyright strike. What's the thing? The something or other. We'll get banned. Trying to
for nudity.
I'm trying to ease up on the carbohydrates.
That's always a good idea. My IC Light does not have a nutrition list.
I might have it on the box.
Yeah, but we got rid of the box a long time ago. So
so the other thing I was trying to speak of, have you heard of that the Bud Light Next or whatever it's called?
I think so.
The blue and the white can.
Yeah.
So, Christine and I got it because we're like, this is interesting. 0 carbs, like 30 calories, whatever. We'll try it out, see how it is. Of the 4 cans that I had of it, each time I had it, it tasted different. First of all, it tastes different when you eat it with a meal. It tastes different when it's cold out. It tastes different when it's hot out, and it tastes different if you have like a different beer beforehand. It's really, really odd.
I don't know if that's good or bad because you want consistency, but also it's got variety.
Yeah, because like 2 of the times it did not taste good, and the other 2 times it tasted fine. But here's the funny thing: we broke the code at the Bud Light company or Budweiser company. So I looked inside. I'm like, it's got a really faint yellow tint to it, and then it said like it used like some sort of vegetable to add color. So Christine and I have the idea that since it also comes in the same can as a seltzer can, we're thinking it's a beer-flavored seltzer.
Ooh, that makes sense why it would be 0 carbs because there's a process by which alcohol is made
There's no yeast involved.
Yeah, through like wheat or barley or whatever it might be. Ooh, dude, that's a conspiracy theory worth talking about.
And it's not even like it's not shown anywhere in the packaging or anywhere where it's like mentioning seltzer, mentioning like a yeast-free beer. It just like it's very subtle where they don't want you to know it's beer. It's like a seltzer because they're trying to pretend it's beer, but it's really not.
Yeah, that would be interesting to do a little bit more of a deep dive. See if there's any promotional material talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's out. It's not in the testing phase anymore. But I wonder if that has some validity to it, because that's a good take. I think.
We both wholeheartedly agree. Like, yeah, it's definitely a beer flavored seltzer. Like, even when we go to the store to get food or whatever, like, yep, there's the beer seltzer. It's just stacked up.
It's
honestly though, all things considered though, I would much rather have that than any hard seltzer, unless it's a hard lemonade seltzer by what's the company?
Mike's.
Truly.
Truly. Okay, I never had a Truly. I know they're good.
They make a hard lemonade seltzer and it tastes like lemonade but bubbly. So I'll drink that. That stuff's really good. But as far as seltzers go, or like hard punches, like fizzy punches or hard margarita punches or whatever, I'll just take a seltzer beer. Sorry.
I take it that you're not a huge fan of White Claw.
No, I do not like White Claw unless I'm gonna drink 4 of these right now because I want to feel it.
Gotcha.
I don't like White Claw at all.
I kind of feel that. I mean, we got some mostly for Maya, and like I think I've only had like 1.5 because I finished Maya's drink that she didn't finish. But I mean, I'm not a super huge fan of hard seltzers either. Like, I'm obviously much more of a beer guy. But also we have, a liquor cabinet, which is stocked with various kinds of liquors. And so why not have, like, a shot of that instead of, like, 3 seltzers? I mean,
also,
personally.
Yeah, I know. I feel the same exact way. Like, with seltzers, like, I just don't like to taste them because it still tastes like a seltzer. Like, I'm like, eh. But, like Twisted Tea. It took me so long to figure that out. They have 4 mainstream flavors. They have half and half, original. Half and half is disgusting. Original's okay, and then they have raspberry that's really good, and they have peach, which is amazing. Like, their peach hard iced tea is so good. Like, it just tastes like tea. So I'll take those over any seltzer. Like, you say, here, here's a peach Twisted Tea, or here's any seltzer. It can be like wicked good seltzer, although Vizzy is pretty good. It's just really expensive.
It can be truly good.
Well, thanks for coming to the show, guys.
See you.
No, but like, if you just hand me like basically any Twisted Tea versus any seltzer, I'll just take the Twisted Tea. I don't care because I just don't like seltzer.
Yeah, I feel that. There's a lot of different, even like within hard liquors, there's different combinations you can make. Like, you can put it with iced tea or like Arnold Palmer, especially like vodka and rum and stuff like that, just to give it that little extra kick.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, where like seltzer isn't really my thing. But I mean, we're getting into summertime. Sometimes it's gonna be like, well, there's only seltzers. I guess I'm having a seltzer.
Guess I'm having a light beer.
But what if you go to a party?
Everybody's house I go to, I got my 6-pack of something. I'm like, you guys got seltzers? Have fun with those.
I think that's why the tradition started, where you bring your own beer to a party. Is like, in case there's nothing there that you like that other people brought, you can still drink your own and not be rude for not drinking.
BYOB.
Yeah, but then what ends up happening is, because like I've gone to a hangout with Maya. Literally everybody brought booze, and then people just drink their own booze. And I'm like,
okay.
But, like, there's a lot of good options here. I mean, I don't know. It's weird.
If someone, like, explicitly says, like, hey, I'm going to have drinks, like, don't bring anything, or, like, bring, like, a little something, sure. But, like, if someone's like, hey, I have drinks, I'm like, cool, I won't bring anything then, because they're offering, like, hey, I'll provide beverages.
Yeah, if anything, bring like snacks or something just to be polite. Yeah,
exactly.
I feel that.
Or water,
because hydration is necessary.
Hydration is migration. That does not make sense. It just rhymes.
But yeah. So yeah, I mean, we're getting into the summer season. Drinking is going to happen, especially at picnics and
Yeah.
barbecues and all that kind of stuff.
See,
So
like people drink in the winter because they're depressed, but like in the summertime, it's actually a good reason because it's like nice out. You're hanging with family and friends, having a good time, all that kind of stuff.
psych, I'm still depressed in the summer.
All year round. I'm just depressed. You're like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. No. But for real, yeah. I think anything is a good excuse to hang out with friends or family and just have a good old brewski. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
So I want to, I mean, not at all related at all, but I wanted to transition really quick. We're not going to talk about the Kenobi TV show too much spoiler wise, but just a brief synopsis of our thoughts and feelings on it. I personally really enjoy it so far. And look, before I ask you what your take is, I did not know that an episode came out today. I mean, this is Wednesday at the
It
time
came
of
out
recording.
yesterday.
No, Wednesday. Today.
Yeah, it came out like dark 30 or whatever. It came out like midnight today.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
So, because like episodes 1 and 2 came out on Friday last week, and so only like, 5 days later they released it again. I'm like, oh, well, it's a good thing I wasn't on the internet too much.
Yeah, because YouTube, I was actually like, I should have YouTube open at work, when I have downtime or whatever. And literally, like, everyone's like, oh, episode 3, Kenobi, here's the breakdown. I'm like, it's Wednesday. Like, why is there Kenobi breakdowns on episode 3? I'm like, oh, they're doing this thing where they do it on Wednesdays.
Yeah. I got a very minor spoiler. I'm not going to talk about what it is because people listening to this might be like, oh, now I can guess what it is just based off of saying it. But I got this little small spoiler, and I'm like, it's not too bad. But at least I found it out now rather than seeing like more stuff on TikTok or Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'll probably I'll watch that in the morning most likely. But
Oh, you haven't watched it yet?
no, I mean, because like I just got home from work, I ate and showered and did some dishes, and then I hopped on here with you.
Is Maya watching it with you or no?
No,
Go watch it after this. Go watch it. It's
Well, here's the issue. So she's only seen each of the movies like one time all the way through, and she didn't see episode 3, which is huge for Kenobi.
huge. It's like that and probably what was it? Not Rebels. Clone Wars might maybe a little bit tightening in a little bit more with the story and stuff, but with this episode though,
I mean,
it doesn't have that the excitement, the pizzazz of like, oh, this is Star Wars now with all these people you love. It's like, okay, we got those 2 episodes. We're like, here's the story now. Like, this is what's going on.
yeah, we're like it's past the introduction phase, and now we're getting into like the meat of it. Now that you're hooked, because obviously episodes 1 and 2 very hooky, trying to grab your attention. For Star Wars fans, you don't need the hook. You can just go right into it, and it's totally fine. But without getting into plot stuff or characters or spoilers or anything, I legitimately enjoy the show very much. I don't really have anything bad to say about the show so far. I think we got to see how things play out. There is one part that I don't prefer. I feel like it could have been done better, either in that episode or on a later episode.
Are you talking about the part in episode 2 at the end when that person goes, and falls over?
Oh, you mean the guy that goes,
Yeah, I talked about that being like, yeah, you could have done that differently.
Yeah.
I agree.
The Lego Star Wars death noise.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I would say go watch it. I mean, obviously, you probably need to see like the other Star Wars movies. I don't think, because I don't know how Episode 3 turns out, but I'd say for now you don't really need to know any of the external TV shows and stuff.
With Episode 3, you definitely need to see Revenge of the Sith.
Yes, 100%.
Because there is even references to Revenge of the Sith in this episode. So, like, you should definitely see. So I was like, why is that happening? I don't get it. So,
yeah.
But it's definitely a really good episode. There's a lot of... the good thing about it is that it's not like other shows where it's like, oh, here's this story happening here, and here's this story. It's like, it's just Obi-Wan and the girl in it and the other bad girl and then like the bad guy. And it's just this. This is like the only story. There's no side shoots of other characters and stuff. It's just this. Right?
Halo. Halo. Sorry, I had something in my throat there. I don't know.
Are we gonna discuss that show? I mean, granted, I'll never see it again, and it's been a couple weeks, so I'm a little rusty on it. But that's all. That's fine. I mean, the first episode was like a good 4 out of 10. Episodes 2 through 8 were like a good 1 out of 10, maybe a 2, maybe. And then the last episode was I'd say the last episode was probably a good 5.5 out of 10.
I would tend to agree. I would say the first one was probably like a 5 out of 10. Like, wasn't super interesting, but there was like a couple cool moments. And the last episode was like a 6.5 out of 10. Because
yeah, 5, 6.
So we're kind of like telling the story in reverse kind of thing. So there will be spoilers. We will talk about certain characters and events and stuff. So spoilers for Halo happening now.
Although, who cares? It's a terrible show. One of the worst shows. Probably the worst show I've ever watched in its entirety.
We do have to preface, I mean, we're both huge Halo fans. Like, one of the first video games we ever played at home that we actually owned was Halo. I mean, we played it over at cousins' houses, at friends' houses occasionally, and we're like, I mean, just the multiplayer, but we were still in love with it basically immediately. And it was one of the first things we got when we got the original Xbox, when we got the Xbox 360. And now that we each have our own PCs, we were super stoked when Halo Infinite came out, but we've talked about that at length. I even have an energy sword back here as a prop.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, Maya got...
Oh, you cleaned up the room a bit. Oh, you just moved the camera. But it looks pretty clean from my angle.
No, we actually, we legitimately did clean up the room a bunch. We had like 3 trash bags of stuff that we threw away. Okay. And Maya's putting a lot of clothing and stuff in vacuum seal bags. And we're gonna be shipping them off pretty soon. But thankfully, this room is getting a lot cleaner, which is really good. Nice. But yeah, so and actually, also speaking of Maya got that sword for me off of Etsy. So that's actually handmade by someone off of Etsy.
What? That's pretty cool.
That's pretty wicked. But yeah, I mean, so suffice it to say, we're both huge Halo fans. We played all the games except for like Halo 5, which is poopy.
But the multiplayer in it is actually kind of fun. It's very fast paced. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
But like with the campaigns, play through each of them multiple times. Multiplayer, untold hours. Huge fans. So going into the Halo show, which is part of the silver timeline, quote unquote, as said by the creators of the show.
Which they never mentioned before the show came out. They said, like, as the show was coming out, hey, this is the silver timeline. Like, the same day they released the first episode, so everyone was like, what is this crap?
They probably got some, like, critic views before the show released to the public, and all the reviewers are like, what is this? What's going on? And then they probably had to do damage control before the public saw it. It was like, hey, just so you know, it's an alternate timeline.
I guarantee that's what happened.
But dude, it's not even an alternate timeline because they've specifically said that this is their own take. This is their own story that has no relation to the Halo lore, but also we're getting inspiration from the Halo lore. But we've never seen or played Halo, which is what the show's creator said.
Or even didn't have the budget to actually buy the real music for Halo. They didn't even buy the music. They just made up their own thing and changed it a ton. And like, oh yeah, it's got Halo. It's got the and
it's as if they hired like a separate artist to be like, hey, do a cover of the song, but don't make it look like we copied their homework. So. Yep. Silver timeline, they're like, we're doing our own thing, even though we're using characters like the Master Chief, Cortana, and the literal actual Halo. But of course, no relation to the games.
They just made a drama show with like a template of Halo.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so going into it, I'm like, okay, I don't have high hopes for the show. Let's see how it plays out.
I'm like, okay, maybe they have a budget. I mean, if they have a budget, they're going to probably do some cool stuff. And they did, like, here and there. But, like, all in all, I was like, I guess it's Thursday night. Let's go watch Halo.
Yeah. Like, oh, wow, the majority of the human fighters have AK-47s instead of, like, actual guns.
And then when Master Cheeks came in, oh boy.
Oh, Master Cheeks, what a hottie.
That nose. Woo-wee.
So let's start off with. Excuse me.
How would we just like not?
See, my body's trying to fight back against me. Like, you do not talk about this because it's going to make you angry.
Your body's like, shut up! Don't talk about Halo.
Do not talk, otherwise you will be destroyed.
Do not call my manager.
But the first episode, we're like, okay, there's a lot of cool action, probably unnecessarily gory, and we meet new characters. Quan.
More like Quan.
So, she lives on a planet called Madrigal, which is a factory planet where they're like getting some kind of resource to power ships and whatnot. And so her father's basically a warlord, but like a kind warlord. And so, it introduces her where she's in like this compound and the Covenant attack. And
everyone gets killed, of course.
Yeah, of course, because there has to be some kind of motivation for that character. So they're getting attacked. Like everybody gets wiped off the face of the planet because the Covenant is extremely powerful. And boom!
And I'm like, I'm sitting there watching, like, cool, awesome. These people are dying. I like this show.
And then Master Chief shows up with his Spartan squad and just wrecks house, and thus ends the last cool moment for the entire show up until the last episode.
Yup. Nothing exciting happened. The rest of it was a soap opera. I'm like, oh my gosh, where's the Halo gonna happen? There's no Halo involved.
I want to say it's like episode 3 or 4 where, because like Master Chief takes Quan under his wing to kind of like protect her for like plot reasons, but then on episode 3 or 4 they actually like separate, and now there's these two main storylines happening. There's like other side storylines with different characters, but it's mainly them two. It's Chief and Quan. Quan's goes to a dead end that nobody cares about. No, like there is zero redeeming quality about that character. Nothing interesting happens.
It's just like, oh, here's my story, and oh, we're done. Okay.
Yeah, I think her story ends in like episode 7 or 8, which means it's just Chief for the rest of it. So I'm like, why even have that character have their own plot line if you're just gonna? It doesn't even go to the end of the season.
It was just episode filler. It was just like, shove some Quan in there, we'll be good.
But like the filler was it. I'm getting so mad talking about it. It still didn't help the main Master Chief story. Master Chief's story felt like filler as well. Like there was this third unseen timeline happening, this unseen plot where both of these stories were already fillers.
It was just a lot of like a lot of the show was just like kind of like silence where I'm like, is something gonna happen at some point? Like sure, like if you're researching the Covenant, but is anything else gonna happen? It's just like, no, I'm Master Chief. I'll help you take out your sensitive brain pill on your back, and then you can think like a human. My memories from when I was a child. Oh, four episodes later. Okay, we're okay now. It's fine. Four episodes later, he's like, my PTSD is gone. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. Dude. Also, and butt cheeks everywhere.
Also. He puts his helmet on in the first episode. It's on. He's in his suit. In the second episode, at some point, he takes it all off. Okay, fine.
No. He takes the helmet off at the end of episode 1.
No. I mean his armor.
Oh.
He doesn't put his armor back on until like the second to last episode. So he's just like skin tight onesie, tall, extra muscly Marine. He's not even Master Chief. He's just like.
Well, he does go to Aradinus 2 with Halsey and the Doctor.
Like
I'm gonna bleep that. But the Doctor, who's all creepy, like he has his armor on then for no reason because there's no danger the entire time.
And then he takes it all off.
Yeah, and then danger happens and battles happen, and then he's like is in his skivvies.
Literally, like he doesn't have his armor on for like the entire season. You're just kind of like, this isn't Master Chief. This is just like big tough guy walking around.
Yeah.
Literally, my favorite Spartans were the ones who were still like, they're still in their like Spartan mode. I'm like, those are my favorite Spartans. Like when they were on screen, I'm like, cool Spartan stuff. This is sick. And then John comes in. I'm like, well, he's John.
I am kind of glad that they kept the storyline from the actual Halo games where Dr. Halsey was the one who like kidnapped the Spartans as kids and kind of trained them
Yep.
to be Spartans. So they kept that core very true to the actual lore. Same thing with Cortana. Like, oh, Cortana chose you. She's like the perfect representation of the human brain combined with AI, and she's like your companion to help you with combat and stuff. But Chief is so rude to her during the entire season. It's like, oh, cool. I guess there's no redeeming factor. But they do redeem it at the very end. And then I'll let you go, Luke. They do it at the very end where now Chief and Cortana actually get along and they help each other out. And, they had this brain meld.
It probably shouldn't be the case, and I'm sure Paramount didn't do a good job at who's supposed to be your favorite characters. But Halsey was by far my favorite character because she actually had a background. She actually had emotions. She actually had, like, a plan of what she was going to do. All the other characters were like, la-di-da, let's go do some stuff and touch these stones and do the research and cry.
Yep.
The entire time. And I'm like, well, Halsey actually has, like, okay, we got to do this. We got to figure out what's going on. We got to take this, figure out, leave. I'm like, cool, sweet. And then you got everyone else who's just like on la-di-da land doing their own thing and clapping. Yep. And you're like, we share the same bond, Master Chief. I just saw you 10 minutes ago for the first time ever, but we're so in love. He's like, yes, baby, I am in love.
Also, screw you. Get out of my head. Yeah,
So
no, I completely agree with you. I mean, Halsey, she's a bad person because obviously she's done war crimes. Like, she's stolen children, replaced the children with clones who, like, basically immediately died. And she's got this ulterior motive, like, we need to make humanity better. Spartans are the future and all this kind of stuff, even though you strip them of their humanity, which are their emotions. And so she basically sees them as weapons, even though she does share a special connection with John. So she's got this hope for humanity, which is very good. She's the only hope for their survival. But on the other side, like, she's got this dark side, which she can't escape. It's how her nature is. It's broken her relationship with another character, Jacob Keyes, and her daughter, because she's solely focused on her research and her work.
Yep.
So she's got that push and pull, and then every other character, like you said, is very like, it's happy fun time.
Yeah, we're doing our thing over here, guys. Look at us go.
Also, I want to talk about one of my least favorite characters. I want to talk about McKee, the alien lady.
Yeah, Mrs. What's-Her-Face with the white hair.
Yeah. So, I'm going to talk in actual Halo lore for a second. The Covenant is technically very xenophobic, where they only accept members into their community, because they're like a whole bunch of different alien races. They only accept a alien race into their midst once they've basically been conquered. The only difference was, I believe, the prophets and the elites, where they were actually fighting with each other, and I think it was a stalemate. And then they're like, why are we fighting against each other and when nothing's happening? Let's just join forces. And then they did. But every other race was like, yeah, your planet's going to get destroyed, join us or die, basically. And so once the prophets found out that the Forerunners, which are an ancient alien race, the prophets kind of made that a religion. And once they figured out that humans were actually the favored sons, rather than the Covenant themselves, the prophets were like, okay, humans bad. We're gonna go to war with them simply on the fact that they're humans, and not explain the full story. But that's why they're very like xenophobic in that way, where they just want to eliminate all humans because they're rats. Why on God's green earth would they adopt a human child and raise her in the highest ranks along with the greatest prophets, truth, regret, and mercy?
Because she had a radar detection on the Elite's GPS signal, and they were like, you've got to be special, sweetheart. You're coming with us, baby. And she's like, yeah, what are you doing? And they're like, whoop.
And also, like, didn't they only find out that she could communicate with the Forerunner artifact after Chief did? So why was she around the whole 20 years she was in captivity?
They're just like holding on to her like a collector's card. They're like, you might be worth something someday. It's for some reason, some point, somewhere.
But at the end of the day, she's like a regular human. Like she
Yeah,
has
she's just
she has a stupid energy sword in her finger.
she's like, ping. Look at me, woo woo woo. It's like this tall. She's like, oh wow, look at this thing go, woo! And then she rips it out, and they're like, cool. Why'd you do that?
Avini Kadimi.
Have you ever watched? Okay, side little note. Have you ever watched the Voldemort laugh in like 10 languages if you dub it?
Yeah, I have
The video on that. It's like in like Japanese. It's like oh, it's like what? It's really funny. Side note, that's funny. Go watch that video. That's more important than the Halo show. I would recommend that video over the Halo show.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would recommend most things over the Halo show.
Yeah, your mama.
Ooh, that's your mama too, sir. Oh snap!
Poggers, champ.
But I want to say, the stupidest character decision and worst connection in the entire show, which is saying a lot, is Master Chief and McKee. The only thing they share, literally, they meet in one episode, and later in that episode, they both reach Halo together, quote unquote, like in their minds,
Like an afterlife kind of thing. Not even Halo. It's just like an afterlife realm.
Yeah, kinda. And then I want to say the beginning or the middle of the next episode, they hook up and they have relations. I'm like, why? Zero romantic connection. Zero person
Chief doesn't
connection.
know anything. He's like, I have this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me.
She saw.
Dunk. I'm Master Cheeks. Do.
I was gonna say she saw his Master Cheeks one time, and she's like, "I gotta butt me off a piece of that."
Listen, you're 6 foot. You're 6'8", sweet boy. Let's go.
So stupid.
So stupid. I'm like, really? I think we were watching that show, and Christine obviously doesn't care either. And she was like upstairs doing something. I'm like, Master Chief's naked. She's like, what? What do you mean? Get down here. This is so stupid.
she comes down and you're like, you're right. It is stupid. And then marches back upstairs.
Yeah, pretty much. Those are kind of funny.
But terrible, awful show.
Really bad.
They only got into like the actual Halo proper, like what the fans want in the last episode in like one fight.
Honestly, watch the first episode and then watch the last episode, and you'll probably get the gist of it.
Yeah, probably.
Or whatever that middle episode when they're on like that weird like caving area, and then like they get the artifact, but then they mess it up and they get the Covenant taken or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's a Radness 2 where.
Yeah, that
John
episode, whatever that episode is, like episode 4 or something. If you watch like episode 1, 3 or 4, whatever, and then the last episode, you got the whole story. You're good.
Yeah, because everything in the middle doesn't really matter.
It doesn't do anything
at all, ever.
But do you know what that means? That's just Paramount Plus doing their thing. Just crappy TV shows.
Don't you love it? It's the best.
I love it.
I mean, one of the longest lasting TV networks. I mean, Paramount's been around for a long time, and then they're just like, we have Halo now.
Do your thing.
Dude, remember when Peter Jackson was supposed to make the Halo movie like 15 years ago?
Yeah, what did he make instead? What was the thing he made District 9 with that money.
Yeah, District 9, which was a great movie.
A really good movie.
But I would have liked to see Halo instead.
It was Peter Jackson, like, come on.
Yeah.
He would have made a good movie.
And later on he made the Hobbit movies, so he got his own thing.
He got his money.
It's so funny to me, like, just side tangent. He wasn't supposed to make the Hobbit movies. It was like
he was kind of forced to. He was like, "Hey, you're really good at Lord of the Rings stuff. Go make these movies."
Yeah, he originally didn't want to. Like even
no.
when they told him about it, he's like, "Nah, I don't want to do that anymore." And then they're like, "Please, you're our last hope." Like 3 other directors dropped it, and then he's like, "Oh, okay." Oh well, it happens.
Yep. And he made yeah.
Okay, sorry, go ahead. I cut you off.
I was going to say he made one movie too many for The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Definitely could have been 2 movies.
But money, though.
But money, guys. Listen. The wampum. The good stuff. The fat cash flow. You gotta keep it moving. If you know what I mean. Money.
I gotta get the cash money.
So, final thoughts on Halo the show. Is it good or is it bad?
It's a solid, pretty bad.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, I have a lot of Halo stuff around me as well. I'm like a Halo fan, and this show was like, but I know you haven't seen it obviously, but the first half of season 4 of Stranger Things came out a couple days ago. Super good. Christina, because the second half's coming out in July, and Christina were like, we'll watch one episode a week and make it last. We watched it in like maybe 2 days, 3 days. And they're really long episodes because like the last couple seasons are like maybe an hour long. I think the shortest episode is an hour and 10 minutes, and then the last episode is an hour and 40 minutes long.
So you watched all those plus all 3 Kenobi episodes.
Yeah, I think we started Stranger Things on...
It came out on Friday.
I think we started on Sunday or Monday. Monday. Okay. We started Monday.
Okay.
But I know you haven't seen them. I told Ruth to watch Stranger Things because she's always like, look at this other show that's so good. I'm like, what? And then she's like obsessed with like a lot of other things that we really like. So I'm like, you like sci-fi, you like like thriller-based mysteries. Granted, Stranger Things has like a little bit of horror to it, but not a whole lot. I'm like, this show is great. If you check the box for sci-fi, thriller, mystery, Stranger Things is like the show.
Yeah. Really I mean, it's popular for a reason, and yeah, I mean, I hear what she's saying, and I really want to watch it, but like, there's just not enough time.
I mean, the seasons are only like 8 episodes long.
That's true. I mean, the thing that me and Maya watch most is How I Met Your Mother and Modern Family, just because they're 20-minute episodes, and we watch them before bed.
And they're both the same show.
Not really.
They're both sitcoms.
They have different styles of humor, though.
But they're both sitcoms.
Okay.
It's like, hey, I'm gonna watch 2 of the same show. Good luck, bye. It's like, dude, you have to change like your like I feel like laughing right now, and you go watch your Modern Family or whatever. Or it's like I want to sit down, hunker down for like 2 hours and watch something that's like serious. Because honestly, if I knew what Halo was going to be like and you didn't see Halo, I'd be like, Caleb, don't watch that. Go watch Stranger Things. Skip it. Trust me. Don't waste your 8 hours, 9 hours.
I tried convincing some friends to watch it because I'm like, there's some redeeming qualities. And they're like, you got to make a really good case for why I'm going to start this and dedicate my life to it. I'm like, it'll make you really angry. And they're like, nah.
I'll pass.
But then a transition from being like, you should give it a try. I mean, this was when episode 4 was out at the time, so I'm like, it just started. You got to give it a chance. Obviously, I hated it at that point, but I just wanted like other people to watch it with me. And then it got to the point where I was recommending it to people just so they could get mad. I'm like, it's gonna make you so mad. You should watch it.
It's terrible. Watch it.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, Christine and I still have to start Breaking Bad.
Such a good show.
I haven't started with her yet. I think we watched that in high school. I think it was your senior year or something like that. We watched it. And I still haven't seen any of the Better Call Sauls either. So, because I know the last season of Better Call Saul just came out or is coming out this year. Yeah,
I think I don't want to say for certain, but I think it's getting that same treatment as Stranger Things, where it's going to be like in 2 parts. But yeah, this is last season of Better Call Saul. Maya and I tried watching the first season, but it got really slow. We kind of gave up on it. But everybody says the first season you kind of got to get through, and then it gets a lot better. But yeah, Breaking Bad is definitely really good.
I'm curious if Better Call Saul kind of sort of turns into like Breaking Bad-esque, where you're trying to like cover up stuff and figure it out and deal with other people, whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's a dirty lawyer, right? So, I mean, and it's a prequel, so there are connections with the Breaking Bad show, from what I heard. It's one of those things where, like, because it's been out for, like, many years, you're gonna know stuff. I mean, like, I've seen stuff from that show already where I'm like, okay, that thing happens. but I don't know when it happens in the timeline.
Mm.
So it's just kind of like the Clone Wars. Like I hadn't seen all the Clone Wars TV show, but I know like the last season is extremely powerful. I know some characters die, some characters have like their time to shine.
Mm-hmm.
So just one of those things.
Yeah. I think the reason why we haven't even started Breaking Bad yet is just because it's so daunting, because there's like a bunch of seasons and there's a lot of episodes per season.
And they're all like 45 minutes.
They're pretty long.
Yeah.
But I think that... Because I don't think there's any other shows going on right now except for Kenobi for June.
Mm-hmm.
So we might start it.
There's some Marvel stuff coming out.
Did you see the trailer for She-Hulk?
Yeah, I wasn't impressed.
It was so boring. It was so bad.
Yeah. I will probably watch it when it comes out, but it's got to do a really good job of hooking me in, because I'm just like...
Yeah, there was another show, Marvel something or other, that just came out. Oh, it was trailer for Miss Marvel or something like that.
No, was it Thor: Love and Thunder?
No, another show.
Yeah, I mean, the Miss Marvel trailer came out a handful of weeks back. That one didn't really catch me either. It's just not relatable.
Love and Thunder looks good though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I'm excited for that one. That looks really good. The Thor movies have really amped up. Like, Thor 1 was fine. It was good. Thor 2 was... Dark World was kind of like, it's fine. And then Ragnarok came out. Everyone's like, oh my goodness. And everyone, like, loved Thor. And then now it's like, when he was in the Avengers movies and stuff, like the newer ones and whatever, everyone's like, oh, yeah. Because they have that appreciation or whatever. Have that connection with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then now with Love and Thunder, everyone's like, oh, Thor. It was like, you would never think Thor would be a cool superhero like 10 years ago.
Right, no, 100%. Same thing with Iron Man. Like, Iron Man was not a famous superhero at any point.
But he was like the first big Marvel superhero. Everyone's like, wait, you can make like this superhero cool?
He was the first mainstream Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. I mean, The Incredible Hulk doesn't really count because it's just like meh.
No.
Because like they kind of shoot. The only reason why that Incredible Hulk movie is in the MCU is because of the end credits scene with Tony Stark. That's the only reason. And the general dad, what's his name?
Yeah,
I forget his name, but only because of them two, it's in the MCU because it's a totally different actor, totally different kind of Hulk. But yeah, no, I mean Robert Downey Jr. You cannot imagine anyone else being Tony Stark or Iron Man. Put Marvel on the map.
It's like Jack. Movies. It's like Jack Sparrow. You cannot see another Jack Sparrow unless it's Johnny Depp.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you do like a prequel, when you have like Jack Sparrow as like a 15-year-old, you're like, don't stop, don't do it.
But. So I learned this piece of trivia, somewhat recently, like a couple months ago. But you know the Blade movies with Wesley Snipes?
Yeah, they're Marvel.
Yeah, they're Marvel. Not only are they Marvel, they're in the MCU as well.
Yeah, because I think it's the Blade movies and stuff, or that character, are going to be tied into the Dark Universe with Morbius and Moon Knight and Deadpool and stuff. I think Blade is going to be intertwined with them somehow. Yeah. And X-Men. I think X-Men might be part of the Dark Universe or something. Or Wolverine or something.
Yeah, because I know that like Marvel proper has the rights to X-Men and stuff like that, which is why they had certain appearances in certain movies with
certain people.
With those kinds of teams. Some might call them pretty fantastic.
And some might call him John Krasinski or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I put an X over that whole thing.
You know, sometimes you gotta sit down for a while.
Yeah, just enjoy things.
Appreciate like a good cup of tea. Yeah. That was bad.
So, speaking of like other TV shows, did you see that they announced a whole bunch of Star Wars stuff?
Yeah, there's Andor. That's the one that takes place just before Rogue One, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it's like
It's the story of the pilot guy.
Yeah, it's still at the rise of the Empire. Like they're still using like clone armor, like stormtroopers as humans haven't been like fully integrated into the Empire yet. So it's kind of like the early stages of the rebellion, kind of. Yep. There's Bad Batch season 2, which is going to be fantastic.
I can't wait. Bad Batch season 1 was like, yeah, it'll be fun. It was really good.
It blew my freaking mind. Like really episode 1 was Order 66. I'm just like, holy cow! This series is going to go wild.
See, I feel like with Star Wars stuff, they can nail stuff between episodes like 3 and 4. Like that stuff is all really good. Even like between 2 and 4, I would say is really good. As soon as you get past 6, it's like, but they haven't done anything that's prequel related yet, which could be pretty cool. I think they're gonna though. I feel like Disney's like kind of like, yeah, we'll get our money's worth from all this middle stuff, and then once we're done milking that, we'll go prequel.
But they are coming out with a prequel type thing where we're gonna see a young Count Dooku, young Qui-Gon Jinn, a younger Yoda in his actual prime. I think it's animated. I don't know when that's coming out, but they did announce that where it's in that pre-episode 1 era, but it's not too far.
Huh.
Yeah, they've released some.
That one.
I think there's some concept art. I don't think there's a trailer for it, as far as I know.
So that probably won't be for another like 2 years at least.
Oh, at least, yeah, definitely. But yeah, anything past episode 6 has kind of been poopy. I mean, even the video game Jedi Fallen Order, I heard was really, really good.
It's like Assassin's Creed, but Star Wars.
Yeah,
can't go wrong with that.
And kind of Dark Souls-ish because there's a lot of bosses and stuff.
True.
But for like story wise, solid. And I know like people were kind of split on the Rogue One movie, but I genuinely enjoyed that movie. That was a solid movie.
That was a good movie. I heard more split opinions about Solo.
True, I can see that. I thought Solo was eh.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I thought it was cool backstory with some people and stuff, but it wasn't like mind blowing in any way. But it was really interesting.
Yeah, I feel like
like the smuggler background kind of thing.
Yeah, it was a story that could be told well because obviously like who doesn't want to know what Solo and Chewie were doing in their younger days. I thought it was like cool. All right, it's there. It's a thing. It's not the best thing. It's not the worst thing. But back in Rogue One, best scene of any Star Wars movie in my opinion. That last little bit with Vader. Oh my goodness.
I say that is definitely up there in the top. Ouch. I definitely think that was definitely one of the best moments in Star Wars. And also, like, a lot of the fight sequences from Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan and Anakin are also in the top. Just, like, emotional, like, with all the music and the camera shots and the atmosphere and, like, the emotion that's going on. That's also in the top as well. Mm-hmm. But definitely, like, the woo, woo, with the sirens in here. You're like, oh my gosh.
And then he just proceeds to just slaughter everybody in the room, putting people on ceilings and cutting them down.
I vividly remember seeing that movie in theaters, and I was just...
Same.
And when it was done, I'm like, what? Like, you never see Darth Vader do that. In, like, episodes like 4 and 6 and 5 or whatever, you kind of see going... Get away, you fool. And he's like waving his sword around like, oh god, stop. But when you see him doing that and like in action, you're like, holy crap.
Because he's still kind of slow and clunky, but he's very like, he's just doing everything with one hand. Yeah, exactly. And so a little tidbit from that scene is while he's like forcing
it's something else you said, but okay, keep going.
Oh, okay. I totally missed it. Re-listen to that and see if I
no, not in a bad way. Just you referenced something completely in the new episode of Kenobi that I mentioned to Christine instantly.
Oh, okay. Good. It's a good thing I completely don't know what I said. Anyway, I don't know. That's fine, guys. I don't want spoilers, even though I accidentally said them in my subconscious. Anyway,
it's really funny. I'm like, okay. Anyway, whatever.
So in that scene, like Darth Vader's like he's blocking blaster bolts. He's like holding people on ceilings and cuts them down. And all the while, like, the rebels have the data chip that they're trying to like get through, like that they're trying not to have Vader have. So you know how they're trying to like pull the door and they can't get the door to move.
Yeah, and they put the card through.
Like, take it, and then Darth Vader just like stabs the guy, and then the door opens, and like the lightsaber just cuts through the door as well. Darth Vader was holding the door closed that entire time with the Force.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't stuck. He was holding that closed, as well as forcing people and blocking like bolts and everything, all at the same time. And I'm just like, what? Because I found that out also somewhat recently. I'm finding out a lot of things recently. I'm just like, what? No way. He held everything closed and
He was like massacre mode activate.
Yeah.
So good.
So good.
You should definitely go watch Kenobi.
I know. Maybe if Maya doesn't mind, I'll watch it tonight.
It's not too long of an episode. I think it's only 40 minutes.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. Yeah, I can.
It goes by really quick.
Yeah, I'll probably have time. I mean, we're probably wrapping up near the end of the episode anyway for recording here, so maybe I'll get in on that.
Yeah.
No sponsor this week as well because we just get in the zone.
Sponsored by the fine Pilsner beer.
Miller Lite.
Lit.
It's lit, boy.
It's Miller Lit, bruh. Inside it, this fine... Like, this is hard to see. Holy moly. Inside is a fine Pilsner beer brewed with the highest quality ingredients. We use choice hops from the Pacific Northwest as well as noble size hops and deliver more taste, aroma, and color with only 96 calories and 12 ounces.
So stupid.
So stupid, you know what I'm saying?
I hates it. I hates it, Precious.
I hate it. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, show coming out
September
on Amazon, which is odd.
Because Amazon was like, we
Caleb,
buy this.
That's your company. That's Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, 94, something, 94, Jeffrey Bezos. Go on, Jeffrey, you can do it.
Come on, man, put your back into it. What? And was it? Their wives drink their blood. Come on, Jeffrey, get him.
Something.
Bo Burnham is a genius.
Yeah, Bo Burnham. Yeah, funny song. Has a good beat to it, although it's only like a minute long.
Yeah, I wish it was longer, but
he should make it Elon Musk song.
He should. Elon Musk is all the rage right now.
Or Bill Gates.
Anybody.
Well, anyone, please.
Bill Burnham, come back.
Bill Burnham, do your thing.
Come on, Bo, you can do it.
But yeah.
Yeah. All right, Luke. I will see you very soon. This weekend is coming up a lot closer than it feels like.
I think that by the time this episode comes out, or when it kind of comes out, we'll probably be together.
Finally, it's been so long. It's been since February, you know?
It's not too bad.
A couple months.
Usually it's like once a year.
No, it's been
I'll die. Did you hear that the actor for the Star Wars whatever thingy, Star Wars the huge event that went on this past weekend, the actor for Palpatine was actually did a bunch of his famous lines and stuff. It's like the Jedi Order, something, and he also does do it, and literally the crowd explodes. They're like, "Oh, he did the line!" It was really wholesome.
It's the same guy that Sam Witwer, who plays Darth Maul in the Clone Wars show, where he's like, Kenobi! Classic.
Same thing.
I think, but I mean, because like all the Star Wars cast was there, and of course they're gonna do their famous lines for the show because it's gonna get the fans all excited.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I kind of wish I was there. But
that'll be a fun thing to go to.
Yeah, one time in my life. I mean, like I think the golden age was during the prequels, like the Star Wars celebrations during the prequels, but also now that there's so much content with TV shows and cosplaying and stuff, I think right now is the golden age for Star Wars fans.
Yeah, because I think it really exploded a bit more.
Yeah, since the explosion of TV shows.
Because like during the prequels and stuff was a good time, but there's a lot of people who didn't appreciate for what they were at the time. But now, looking back on it, you're like, you know what? The prequels weren't too bad, considering all other things that recently came out, kind of going with the sequels. But, like, prequels pretty good. Not bad.
Necessary. Necessary for all the good content that has come out since then.
Yes, all the memes. Alrighty,
and with
sir.
that, we will close out the show. It's been a good one.
It's been a good time, partner. Maybe next time you can hang out with Mr. Smiley.
And remember, kids, eat your vegetables and stay away from white vans.
You know where to find me. The purple station wagon. Don't go to the white van. Come to me.
You turned to Bill Cosby at the end there. Also, not much better. Not much better.
Not much, yeah, probably not. Maybe just go with, like, Mike Myers or something. Or Robin Williams. He's a bit more wholesome. But a little bit, he's kind of dead. Maybe Steve Martin. Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler is actually a local New Hampshirean.
Would you look at that?
His entire family lives in New Hampshire.
Was he born and raised here? There?
Yep. Manchester.
Oh, get out.
Yep. My coworker, he actually drove behind Adam Sandler for about 50 miles on the Kingamungus Trail up in northern New Hampshire. He was driving behind him like, that kind of looks like Adam Sandler a little bit from the back. And he drove by and was like, how's Adam Sandler? And then the news, it was like, Adam Sandler visits his family in New Hampshire for the week. And he's like, no way.
That was him.
That was Adam Sandler.
It's kind of like that famous clip where, like, the guy rode up next to Shia LaBeouf on the road. And they just looked at each other and he's just like,
hey.
That was it.
I know you.
Yeah. I haven't seen anyone famous in person, which is sad. Well, not like on the street, I mean.
Christine and I saw the voice actress for Ahsoka.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Aside from that, not really anyone famous. Of course, you have to go to, like, L.A. or Florida, famous people, or New York City.
Yeah. Everywhere else, it's, like, literally once in a lifetime, if that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I live in Bleep Town, New Hampshire. I'm not going to see anyone.
No. But that's how it goes,
Yep.
I saw a heroin addict was one time. Bye, everybody.
So, okay. Do you smell bacon? John Cena.
Hey guys, welcome to. Oh, hang on, let's read it. Hey guys, welcome to the Super Sober.
Hey guys.